Alright, enough time has passed. I think we can all come together and agree that Gentle is the best villain of My Hero Academia. Thank you to our final patrons, Strawbones, 4765, Midnight Gemlord, Sean, and Artgoon. And a very big thank you to our $25 patron, Alex Ice Rose. Now, we're on this breakdown / discussion and review of chapter 380 of My Hero Academia. Please don't leave your almost on the chapter in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit that little notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below. Use more result as $1 like exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks include the live reaction to this very chapter. Now, let's hop into chapter 380. What's up, guys? All here, and here we are to do a breakdown and discussion and review of chapter 380 of My Hero Academia, which is known as Close Call for Realsies. I didn't even, ironically enough, when I did the live reaction for the chapter, which you can check out over on Patreon and become a member for as low as $3 a month to see, sorry, I gotta plug it twice, but when I did a live reaction, I didn't even read the title, but I imagine reading the title already sucks all the tension out of this chapter, because you recognize, there's only one person in the entire cast who talks like that, and the fact that the chapter is titled that, kind of sucks out all the tension already, but I will admit I was spoiled anyway. So the tension was never necessarily there, even though the thumbnail is a thumbnail. I know exactly what the thumbnail is. I've already made it, but still, little anticlimactic. However, this chapter's still good. Let's hop right into it. So we open up. We do get to see that Gentle is still holding up UA in a gigantic, stretchy bit of air. Still super impressive. This is a feat that I've been seeing calced and quantified, and it is pretty darn bonkers, just as it is. Just a massive hunk of land being held up by one dude. I get it. Base Gentle doesn't scale to this at all. He is currently love amped to, who knows, an insane degree. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, and he was absent from Brava for a pretty hefty chunk of the series. So obviously her love probably only grew stronger. So this is probably, I think this has to be way stronger than the Gentle we saw even back when he fought Midoriya back in Culture Festival. Because I don't think 5% Midoriya, if you gave him float, would be able to do what Gentle's doing right now. I think Gentle's gains have just gotten way more massive. Or even, I think that was, he had access to 20%, but it was only with flicks where he wouldn't break his fingers because of the extra support tool. So even if you gave him full 8% or 10% Midoriya that Gentle was fighting, I don't think he was doing all this. I don't think he was lifting all that. So it is very impressive that Gentle has come out the clutch and lifted this for even how long he has been lifting it for. Sure, it may have been at most 5 minutes. But 5 minutes of holding up this, essential landmass is low-key kind of just a miniature island that Gentle's just casually hoisting, okay, not casually, but seriously, overhead pressing. Most people can't bench 225 pounds, myself included, but here you have Gentle overhead pressing, well, with knees, overhead pressing a gigantic landmass. Shout outs to bro. Bro's gains are immaculate. However, of course, his elasticity and himself have limits, right? He straight up says, my elasticity has reached this limit, and trust me, I'm not insulting my baby girl. Her love is not anywhere falling short. It's literally just me. This thing is really, really heavy, and I love that. Once again, Gentle as a character, for the longest time, you can even go back. You can go back to my Hero Academia villain ranking, and you can see that Gentle was up there for me. He was only beneath Shigaraki because Shigaraki was cooking before the war. But now, it's been long enough, bro. It's been long enough. He has become my favorite My Hero Academia villain because unlike every other My Hero Academia villain, he hasn't had a slump. Every single character, or every single villain in particular, not every single character, but every single villain has had moments in the story where they've slumped. Not just physically they got slumped, someone knocked them out, but legitimately they just haven't been interesting, or they got taken over, stuff like that. Shigaraki, for the longest time, was my favorite My Hero Academia villain. For the longest time, he was really my favorite new gen villain. Just in general, I love Shigaraki, but then the end of the first war happened. And then we had the whole victim plot now. And then Shigaraki got put down to a side character, or really a side character within Tomura, and he was just a alternate personality, and realistically it's the child inside we need to save. It's not like the child actually developed into this person based on their experiences. No, it's just a split personality disorder. That sucks. I don't know, that made Shigaraki fall off for me. And yes, I'm glad he's back, but at the same time he was gone for like 60 chapters. I don't know, that's just not fun. I don't know, I didn't like that. Dabi is a character who was way more interesting before his backstory, at least to me. I have a whole Dabi rewrite written. It's literally done. I just need to sit down and record it and edit that behemoth of a video. It's like 13 pages long, so I know that thing's gonna at least be a solid 40 minutes. Oh, it's gonna be painful to edit. But Dabi is a character who I think fumbles a lot after his introduction. Or not necessarily his introduction. His appearance in the war. As much as I love Dabi's dance, I have some problems with that, and I have problems with the after effects of it, and especially his backstory, so he kind of fell off for me. Toga, I never necessarily got the hype behind. It was just, I get it, she's a lot of people's favorite villain. A lot of people love Toga, but in the same way that I don't see the hype behind Hiraka, I don't see the hype behind Toga. I think they're just poor characters, especially Toga. Like Uraraka, I can kind of see the hype behind. Like if I squint hard enough, I can see what you guys are going for with Uraraka. Toga, I cannot understand Toga fans. I legit cannot. I don't know. For some reason, I cannot sympathize with a person who just wants to slaughter people and drink them. It's just, for some reason, it's just out of my periphery. And the thing is, I like Shigaraki. I liked pre-war Shigaraki and even mid-war Shigaraki. So it's not like you can't make me not like a villain that just rampantly slaughters people, but you gotta give him something. Shigaraki had more than something. That's why I liked him. Compress was a non-character. Like, he was cool. I liked his quirk, but his reveal meant nothing to me. Heck, Muscular, a really cool villain. I liked him a lot, but he got beat by nonsense the first time. And the second time he got no diff, so obviously, bro has nothing. And character-wise, bro also has nothing. Moonfish, we never even got to see his eyeballs, I don't think. Bro is not a character. Mustard? Mustard ain't a character. Lady Nagant's like the closest thing that I could see giving gentle competition, but I barely consider Lady Nagant an antagonist. Like, just due to how her story is structured and how short of a time frame she's an antagonist for, I don't think she really counts. Like, she has a portion of an arc dedicated to her. The Lady Nagant fight, hold on, let me double check. The thing's 4 chapters. It is chapter 312 to chapter 315, and I'm pretty sure we get introduced to Nagant at the end of a chapter, so the fight is really barely 3 chapters long. You know how long Midoriya vs. Gento was? It was also like 3 chapters. I'm just messing with you. But regardless, I think Gento has more time as a proper villain, and he gets a lot more, ironically enough, he gets more build-up than, that's crazy to think about. He gets more build-up than Nagant does. Nagant kind of gets introduced well, no, actually Nagant does show up earlier on in the narrative as a prison inmate, but we don't necessarily get too much context for her. The main highlight of her introduction is actually seeing Overhaul again, which is kind of a red herring. Meanwhile, Gento's introduction is focused on Gento. But as much as I want to give Lady Nagant the credit, Gento's still goated. He's still goated. Top tier villain. Bro's still up there. And then what's left? Who is left? All For One? All For One is kind of cool. I like his personality. His just goofy, silly, I'm here to be the Demon Lord because I want to be the Demon Lord tee-hee kind of personality is fun, but once again, it just doesn't hit the same level of depth or complexity that Gento does, for a good reason. Like, All For One's not meant to be in-depth or complex. That's why Shigaraki was supposed to be his successor, because he was supposed to be more in-depth and complex, but we had to slump him for 60 chapters for some reason. I still, to this day, I still don't get that narrative choice, especially if you were going to do nothing with it. Like, in the long term, what was the point of Shigaraki losing control to All For One? You could have literally just had Shigaraki free All For One of his own free will and escape of his own free will. There was no reason to have Shigaraki get taken over by All For One. Unless you were worried that Shigaraki wouldn't, wait as long as All For One did to act, and you needed to give the heroes time. But even then, you had the perfect excuse that Shigaraki's body wasn't complete, and he could have just had to go into, stasis or hibernation or something in order to make sure that his body was actually complete. And that's how you get that time period for the hero. So I still don't get that narrative choice, and I think it's dumb, and I think it ruined Shigaraki as a character, because he had to get slumped for 60 chapters. So, overall, long story short, Gento's the best. However, we do get to see that with him running out of steam and running out of gas, he's gonna need a little bit of help there. And we see that Brava's like, hold on, baby man, don't worry, we got this. The new program's almost in place. I'm gonna somehow magically fix this thing so it stops falling out of the sky. I know Brava is like a programmer or hacker person, but that is unbelievably impressive. Like, how? Like, I thought the reason the building stopped flying was because it was legitimately, like, internally damaged. Like, it wasn't just a program failing. The structure and integrity of the building was absolutely torn apart. And people couldn't, like, I thought we had a whole section of the chapter where the mechanics of the entire building were like, yeah, we straight up can't fix this. Like, it's a straight GG. The whole building's coming down. I thought that was the case. I didn't think it was just a new program. But, you know, obviously we can't have this UA meteor crashing down on the planet. Like, that would obviously do extreme amounts of damage. So if we got to write it off by just saying it's a program thing, or I just missed something, then I just missed something. I'm perfectly fine with this. I'm not going to complain. It's a great way to use La Brava, use Hacker Man or Hacker Woman, and it's a great way to use Gentle, Lifter Man, Lifter Woman. Like, I think it's neat. I'll take it. This is definitely my bias coming in. Like, if it was any other character, I think I'd be complaining more. But no, it's like two of my favorite characters from My Hero Academia. Like, probably at this point now with this secondary arc for them, they're probably low-key top 5. Like, I'm really thinking about it right now. Maybe top 8 characters in MHA. When realistically, they were like, as much as I love Gentle before this, he was definitely in like the top 15. He wasn't definitively in the top 10, but now he's definitively in the top 10. La Brava too, which is crazy. However, we do get to see, and with this being the case, Gentle is actually thinking on the young man he thought he saw. He zipped by me. I can't English. He zipped by me so fast, I barely caught a glimpse of him. But there's no doubt about it. It was that boy. Was he able to leave because he placed his trust in me? No. I mustn't be so presumptuous. He has no way of knowing I'm here. There's no cameras and no audience. No matter what the outcome is, no one will jeer at me or cheer for me. What a joy it is to be alive. It's filling up my heart. Dog! I love it. I love it. The character writing is peak. Like, dog. The character development, the hope, the acceptance, the determination, the respect for someone, but the understanding that you know you don't matter enough because you're not the main character. Like, everything. It is so... It's kind of like the same reason I like Endeavor. Like, Endeavor, by the time of the fight with Hood, the high end, he kind of realizes that he's never going to be All Might. Like, All Might was just something different, something special. All Might was the main character. Realistically, of the golden age of heroes, or whatever the age of heroes was called with All Might, he was top dog. He was top billing. There was just nothing you could really do about that. However, what makes me like Endeavor so much is that he's humble enough, after years upon years of failing to try and be All Might, he's humble enough to know that that's not his role to play. He has his own role to play. He has his own way that he can be the number one hero. And he develops it in his own violent, fiery, explosive way. And Gentle, after finally realizing that he can no longer be a hero. He can no longer be that person that people cheer for. He can't draw clicks. He can't do any of that. But what he can do is help people. He can be the person behind the screen, the person who helps lift up those who shall be praised and loved by the masses, because just helping people can fill one's heart with joy. I love it. I love it. It is so good, so juicy, so well written. Like, Horikoshi can write, dog. He can write. I promise you, no matter how many times you will hear me get on Hori's case for some huge writing mistakes, for some fumbled villains, for some fumbled characters, for some fumbled entire concepts, you will always hear me sing his praises to the heavens and beyond when I think he's cooking. When Hori cooks, like, Hori is one of the most polarizing authors to me. One of the most polarizing modern mangaka. Blue Lock is consistent. It's just consistent peak. And I call it peak lock for a reason. Four Nights, Nakama has his moments. But usually it's like on a consistent high for me. Same thing with Seven Deadly Sins back when it was coming out. Looking at something like Dr. Stone, I think I have issues with Dr. Stone's ending. But even with that, Dr. Stone was just consistent quality. Same thing with something like Fire Force, JJK, you name it. Black Clover, so many different manga where I feel like they literally just coast at quality. Horikoshi has moments where he's coasting at quality, but sometimes he will drop. Like, it'll straight drop through the floor, into the mantle, straight through the crust, and hit the core of the earth. That's how low Hori can drop sometimes for me. But at the same time, he can raise and shoot higher than anyone else. Okay, maybe not higher than JJK. JJK's peaks are kind of crazy, and there are some moments in Four Nights that literally made my toes curl. So, legitimately, maybe not as high as some of the peaks, but that's my biases. On a sheer writing front, on a sheer character front, Horikoshi can pierce the heavens. He wrote Endeavor, and he's writing Gentle. Bro can cook. He can cook a 3-star Michelin meal. Hands down. Brody can cook when he feels like cooking. It's just that on occasion, he just doesn't feel like it. Like, I feel like Horikoshi is the kind of guy who will sit down, make you the best meal of your life, and then proceed to come back the next day and he'll give you dog food. Like, it's that kind of shifting quality. It's crazy. It's crazy. But the peaks of Horikoshi, the things like this is why I still check into My Hero Academia every week. It's stuff like this. Sure, there are times where I have chapters like I literally don't care. I think it's kind of boring and I'm really disinterested. But at the same time, there are moments like this, where there's dialogue like this, where there's characters like this, where there's development like this. And I'm like, whoo, you know, this may just be, okay, I can't ever say it's the best new gen. I have like 3 new gen above My Hero Academia right now. 3? Maybe 2. But still, it's still so peak. I love it. However, it does kind of get under my... Part of me, I get it. It's kind of just for the contradictory flair of it all. But I will admit, cameras and an audience showing up to the point where Gentle notices them being there, and it's these weirdly designed characters too, like the guy with the really long head and the guy that looks like a ripoff from Mob Psycho 100. Like, I think it kind of sucks out the tension, or not the tension, or at least the impact of the moment just a little bit. But I get what it's here for, right? Like, part of me is torn because I really like some of My Hero Academia's character writing. I think it has some of the highest peaks. Like I said, despite how much I love JJK, despite how much I love Four Nights, despite how much I love insert new gen here, I will still say, beyond a shadow of a doubt, Endeavor is the best thing new gen has ever produced. At least for right now. Maybe there's going to be something different. I have not read all of new gen, don't get me wrong. And I know JoJo's Part 9 just dropped. I'm probably going to start doing live reactions to that, even though I haven't read a single part of JoJo's. But regardless of that, for right now, Endeavor is the single best thing that new gen has produced. It's crazy. It's crazy. But that's the thing. And the thing that made Endeavor work is that he never had these moments of sharp contrast. When he was in his character, when he was in his peak, it was given time to breathe. You could lay in the moment. You could soak into it. But this beautiful character moment for Gentle, where he accepts his place in society and realizes that he can still find joy in it, is immediately cut off by the fact that cameras and an audience show up. You couldn't give us an extra page. You couldn't have just made that middle page of this panel, or the middle panel of this page, the whole page. Just give me a moment to sink it in. You don't even get too much of it, because he immediately gets camera and audience and he gets snapped out of that joyous moment. I don't know. I feel so conflicted about that. And this isn't the only time the chapter does this. It does it again later on, which that's the thing. I feel like Horikoshi, it's almost like the Ben 10 effect, where for some reason the show can have these really high, good, solid, well-written character moments, but it can't stick to them. Like, it can have great payoffs for specific characters or specific arcs and stuff like that, but it can never actually sit down and commit to them because it's too afraid to get too serious, too afraid to get too deep. My Hero Academia has moments where it does. Like I said, the end of the high-end Endeavor fight, perfect, beautiful, in fact. Perfection, put the page. But I don't know. It seems like Hori is just a little bit afraid to do it sometimes. And I wish he wasn't. I really wish he wasn't, because I know, I've seen it. He can cook. However, we do get to see that Gentle, still being the GOAT, is like, hey, it's dangerous out here. Get back inside. And we see that, like, once again, we suck all the... And I hate this dude. I don't know. I don't know this guy from A Can of Paint. I'm pretty sure he's appeared before. Like, I have a weird sense memory. Like, my eyes are telling me I've seen this guy before. But he's so random, so ugly. And it touches on a part of My Hero Academia that I love, too. I love My Hero Academia world building. There are 2 things... Well, 3 things, because Endeavor. But there are 3 things you'll consistently hear me slop off My Hero Academia for. 1... some of its character writing, 2, Endeavor, and 3, its world building. I love My Hero Academia world building. It's not overly complicated, as many people have told me. It's not One Piece. I'm sorry, it's not One Piece, but it's very hard to be One Piece. So I don't blame Hori for that. But the extensive depth that Horikoshi goes into with this world is one of my most respected things about it. Everything feels like it's thought out for the most part within the world of My Hero Academia. So does it make sense that there would be arrogant business students that would downplay Gentle literally saving their lives? Yes. But does it suck all respect and tension out of the moment when you have this kid mocking this amazing human being? Yeah. It definitely devalues the character moment when we have this goofy character with a mushroom for a head. I don't know. It's so weird. But it's, once again, it's touching on one of my favorite parts. I love My Hero Academia world building. The fact that there are people like this makes sense. The fact that there are idiots who would risk their life to record something like this makes sense. Have you seen humanity? Ever since we got cameras, we've always been recording dumb stuff. There's so many people who record dumb stuff. They will be getting live attacked by a bear or something, and they will pull out their phone before pulling out the bear spray. Like, legitimately, I know there are people this stupid. But I think at times like this, you gotta weigh it. Like, the chapter would lose nothing from cutting out this entire moment. And I get it. The character makes good points, right? But they're being rude to Gentle, and I don't like that. And also, the points that they made are being implied already. You don't need this. This is extra fluff that I think could have been cut. And I'm glad the chapter is long. Don't get me wrong. This is the longest My Hero Academia chapter we've had in a minute. Full of double spreads. Like what? Let me double check. I think there are like 3 double spreads in this chapter. Or maybe I'm lying and there are no double spreads. Jeez. Okay, there's 1 double spread right at the end of the chapter. But still, the chapter is like 16 pages long with the double spread. So it's really 17 pages. Hori was cooking this week. He was definitely chefing up. He took that 2-week break and came back and said, all right, let me cook a little bit. So I'm happy for that. But at the same time, I feel like he could have filled it with something else. I'm not necessarily rocking with it, but it leads to a good moment with Brava and Gentle. So like, I'm so torn. I wish Gentle just had his moment in the void where it was he, himself, and Yue falling from the sky, and he was the last bastion holding it up. But I guess this is fine too. So the thing is, right, the hero people tell him to shut up because they're filming, because they're busy. Yeah, the guy who's currently holding you up from the sky, you definitely need to tell him to shut up because whatever you're doing is so important. And they say, filming is our job, so let's do it. Superior lights and ruins, and Jimmy had to show you such a brand by himself. We should maintain better public relations. After the war, we should connect the heroes and the people, but we failed to do that. Forging that connection is why we have to film this. This is a solemn duty, as heroes of the business course. I hate him. I don't know. Like, once again, I get it. Recording this moment, this historic moment, is important. This will be something, if society makes it, that future generations will look back on. This will be the near fall of heroism. I can see the documentary right now. But at the same time, dog, it couldn't be someone we knew. I like, maybe that's impossible, right? Because we knew nobody in the business hero course. But especially considering you have the moment later on in the chapter, you have it in like literally on the same page where these guys are going to record Gentle and they get taken over by Brava. Why? If you're going to give Brava the magical ability to just save this falling fortress from falling from the sky, you might as well just give her the ability to have a specialized camera, or there could be cameras built into the UA building and they're recording Gentle, something like that. So you could literally just keep it a more personal moment with Brava and Gentle, yet still get the effect of recording this for the future generations to see, without including this nonsense character that no one cares about. Oh, maybe I don't care about it. If this guy's your favorite character, more power to you. Trust me, I have weird favorite characters too. Don't get me wrong. However, still, I feel like it was so unneeded, especially at the time it was placed. Sorry, I know I was just singing Horikoshi's praises, but I went back to complaining immediately. Let's hop right back into it. So the best moment, another fantastic moment, is we see that Brava just lets herself into the cameras of these people. And we see that, I already forget, the police guy. I feel like I love this guy. Now Masa, there we go. Now Masa's like, what are you doing, Aiba? Make you a float already. And Brava's like, hey, shut up, you idiot. What good are you doing here other than standing around and being useless? I've already done that, and I'm on to the next step. And she says something wonderful. Keep on filming, heroes. I won't let Gentle's legendary deeds go unseen. Even if he's fine with that, I could never allow it. And admittedly, that image, the way Horikoshi draws it, is a little freaky deaky. But even still, with that being the case, this moment is beautiful because you know why? What brought Brava and Gentle together? What allowed them to reach this point where they both are now, saving the lives of who knows how many people? It was that connection. It was the filming of Gentle. Gentle's own determination to be somebody that brought these two together. And it's LaBrava's respect for what Gentle did for her, saving her life, giving her a purpose, giving her everything, that even if Gentle has become humble enough, he's understood his role enough that yes, you know what, I won't be important here. LaBrava, who has Gentle as the most important person in her life, would never let that slide. She would never let that go away. So she will do what he will not. She will give him the platform that he always desired, as she loves him the most. Tell me that ain't peak, dog. Tell me that ain't peak. Tell me that. What writing does Toga have that hits that good? Tell me. Other than losing her boy toy that she deserved to lose because that boy toy was a menace. Tell me what Toga has that's on that level. Tell me. You can't. Hori is cooking. He's so like best new. No, I'm not gonna lie and say I can't even fake that sentence. JJK still mollywops My Hero Academia on so many different fronts. The only thing My Hero Academia has is art quality, but in terms of art fluidity, JJK still blows it out of the water. But regardless, even with that being the case, man, Hori can cook. He can cook. Like this is just peak writing. Like there's literally nothing else I can describe it as. PEAK, peak writing. I'm not even gonna spell writing because you know how to spell writing. WRITING. That's what we doing right here. Horikoshi is cooking. He's a chef in the kitchen. COOKING. We are spelling right now. Welcome to that guy with the spelling bee. Come on now. Spell peak in the comment section down below. But regardless, I love it. I think it's beautiful. I think it's amazing. And Hori, when he wants to cook, he can definitely cook. And one thing I will admit, I do like how their combination is still needed, right? Gentle, LaBrava didn't 100% fix the floating thing with her new magical program. She just lightened the load a little bit. And I do like how together, once again, they make each other stronger. Because with her help with the technology, she's not only giving him the notoriety that he always desired, but she's also helping him lift his burdens, lift up that weight. And Gentle is helping her by lifting up her weight. And that sounds bad, but lifting up the weight of so many people and her world itself, as he did many a time before. I love it. I think it's peak. Love these two characters. Golly gee willikers. Horikoshi. Why couldn't you give this writing to everybody? If you could cook, I know why. It's very difficult. Like, I always, this is the thing. I always feel bad as a critic whenever I say, this is bad, I don't like this, blah, blah, blah. Because I'm not a published author. I haven't even written a full book yet. Okay, technically I have. But that it's not published. No one's read it. The only work you guys are able to critique is the work I put out on the internet through my channel and through my other channels and mediums, like my TikToks, my Instagram, all stuff like that. That's the only work you can critique. I feel like, let me say this. I say it pretty much every single video, but any critique I make, don't assume, well, you can assume whatever you want if I don't tell you, but know this. Whenever I critique Horikoshi, whenever I critique Nakaba, whenever I critique Tabata, whenever I critique any mangaka, or any content creator that I really talk about, I am speaking from someone who is not at their level. And likely never will be. I could never dream of being a mangaka because this takes the level of determination, skill, effort, love, and passion that I can never disrespect. So no matter how many problems I have with the story, its characters, how a mangaka writes something, they are still infinitely better men and women than I, because I could never do it. Not if you gave me 10 years. I could never do it. So I definitely respect Horikoshi. 100%. He still ain't got the best new gen though. But regardless, we do get to see that the Toga Twice, speaking of the character with booty water writing compared to LaBrava and Gentle, the Toga Twices are running around. Slaughter every single hero. Oh, wow. You don't say. Shock horror. Golly gee willikers, fellas. That's really blowing me away. W writing. I love it when the mass slaughter wants to slaughter more people. Oh, wow. So deep, so good, I'm sorry. I've just seen so many takes about Toga being like the best new gen female. And I'm sorry, we have Maki right there. Heck, I don't even like Uraraka. We have Uraraka right there. We have Noelle right there. We have Nobar right there. We have so many other characters right there. You can't even say she's the best female new gen villain. Right there. Like, so many different characters. Clear. Astronomically. It is absolutely and indubitably bonkers that you toga meat munchers, because she literally has meat now. You can go ahead and munch it. But you certified, licensed, fully registered toga meat munchers. The fact that you slop her off so gosh darn much, you can fill an ocean with how much slop y'all be drooling out. It's crazy. It's absolutely bonkers. Power clears. Reize clears. So many different characters clear. Kobeni clear. Like, so, let me stop. I'm gonna have the Toga fans outside my house. But I'm kidding. Like, whatever character you like, I just like clowning on Toga because I don't see the appeal. But regardless, we do get to see that, just like anyone's here. If you're here, write peek in the comments. If you're here, write peek in the comments. If you made it 30 minutes in. However, we do get to see that we only get a slight glimpse of the Toga Twices doing their Toga Twice thing. Because we cut over to Kurogiri. And once again, I go from... I feel like this is the balance of these My Hero Academia reviews. I go from slopping Horikoshi off to smacking him up. Because Kurogiri and the whole character of Shirakumo is such a mishandled thing. Like, I get it. It is okay to have certain things in extra materials. Some of my favorite things from other series are their extra materials, because it gives me more of the characters I know and love. But I say this just from the bottom of my heart. Do not lock off vital character information or vital character arcs or stories inside materials. And I'm sorry, I like Vigilantes to a certain degree. I don't know. I know it's over, and I kind of just read parts of it. I was never necessarily too invested in Vigilantes because I didn't like the art. I know that's a hard bar to clear. Like, it's hard to be My Hero Academia in terms of art. But still, even with that, Vigilantes is side material. You should not have vital character stuff hidden away in a side manga. At least not in my opinion, right? And the thing is, there is no anime for Vigilantes, at least not yet. And the Kurogiri reveal has happened in the anime by this point, right? Because we're already on the Lady Nagant fight. So Kurogiri being an important thing, Oboro being a thing that matters, has happened already. This is a thing that has transpired in the anime. And there's no way for anime-only fans, people who do not like to read manga, for them to know this. So, and I doubt there's going to be Vigilantes anime by the time season 7 of MHA comes out. I highly doubt it. And even if there is a Vigilantes anime, I highly doubt it's going to reach the point where Oboro gets introduced in the manga of Vigilantes. So, no matter what, Kurogiri and the Oboro plotline with Aizawa and President Mike, huge fumble, galactic fumble, unbelievable, universal fumble, multiversal fumble, outerversal fumble. Hori, I don't get why you did that. Like, legitimately, all you need, like, you literally could have just had an Aizawa's past arc. Just do that. Do that. Put, like how JJK has a Gojo's past arc, put it in Aizawa's past arc. And it would fix every single problem. You should not have locked it away inside materials. Because right now, this is the crux of the plot. Like, Kurogiri's in conflict. The protector. I am. What am I? Like, none of this hits the way it should, because there's no proper buildup in the main narrative. We get one slight flashback. I think we get like 2 whole panels of Oboro properly, which is crazy. However, we do get to see with Yue falling from the sky, the sky, the sky, a new adventure, la la, la la, la la. I want to play Sonic Adventure Rush. Not Sonic Adventure Rush. That's not a game. I want to play Sonic Rush 2. Sonic Rush 2 Adventure. Is that it? That's what it's called? I really want to play Sonic Rush Original again. I lost that DS cartridge so long ago. I wish I could find it. But regardless, the thing is, we see that Aizawa is indeed falling to his despair as Toga Twice tries to take him down. And President Mike is also reaching for him as they fall towards despair. And we see Kaminari scream out, "No!" as he's about to get jumped by another Toga Twice. And we see Kurogiri actually clutches up and saves his 2 friends, or takes them somewhere. Presumably they're going to save him, and then we're going to have a flip and all that good stuff. And we see that they were just taken away somewhere. And with that being the case, Mandalay flips it and is like, yeah, sure. Technically, Kurogiri saved both of them, but at the same time, Erasure's gone. We now have no way to suppress Shigaraki. We are now GG'd, folks. It's done. So all we have to do is believe that they're going to be all right and not thrown into the ocean or something, and fight to win and believe in Midoriya, because he's the only hope we have left. And with that being the case, something I really, really like is how despite Black Whip usually being associated with Midoriya, he's actually coated in bright light energy, while Shigaraki's releasing these sparks of darkness. It's really, really neat. I like it. I don't know. It's a really nice aesthetic flip, considering these two are usually associated with the opposite auras. So seeing them reversed here is really, really nice. I like it. However, we do cut back over to Gunga, and we see that All For One is, I guess, kind of just talking to himself. Or maybe to the audience or something. Like, I'm not sure if this is breaking the fourth wall or something. Because notably, I doubt he's talking to Hawks. I don't think so. Because he goes on to say this. Like, hit the All For One voice. Gotta make my voice nice and buttery. I was supposed to have full control of Tomura's body right away. Things like fusion and a new personality were not part of the original plan. Tomura's desire for destruction proved stronger than I anticipated. But there's nothing to worry about. Now that I've finished up here, all I have to do is get him to absorb my quirk factor, and Tomura will be sealed away once and for all. The Demon Lord shall be complete. After all, this is my story. And All For One, like, Brody, why are you talking to yourself, homie? That's not... I guess when you're over 100 years old, you kind of just lose your mind a little bit. And obviously, his body has got to be like a biological mess right now. Like, straight up, I can't imagine what it's like being All For One. Because he's currently dying, by the way. Like, I don't know why Erasure slowed down. He doesn't seem to have any, or not Erasure, Rewind, his effects have slowed down on him. He doesn't have any of the extra Rewind energy flowing around him. So maybe he's just stuck like this. But with it being the case, Brody, you're dying right now. Maybe you should be firing off with both hands, trying to speed along a little bit faster. Like, dude, you're literally perishing as we speak. And you didn't handle everything here. Like, legitimately, every single hero is still alive. Even, I think maybe not the one whose quirk and fit you stole. But, like, you didn't take down any of the major threats. Sure, the Toga Twices are here to start manhandling everybody. But, dog, you ain't doing nothing. You literally got forced to use your final resort, which is currently executing you. You are a failure. You serve zero purpose. You should... Let me stop. But with that being the case, I wonder why he didn't confirm it before letting Shigaraki rock out. Like, the fact that he just fell for the bait that the heroes laid out for him without immediately making sure that Shigaraki was just him, kind of crazy. I don't know why he did that. I guess he tried to take advantage of the whole personality merger thing, but at the same time, it feels weird. It feels weird. Like, a guy who seems to have planned everything out, like on some Aizen fused with Kenjaku, topped off with some Ayano Koji, like, legitimately planned out everything. Bro was cooking the whole series. Kind of crazy that he would let something like that, something so important, slip under his nose, and then he now has to make a mistake. I get it. We need to have the villain lose, but at the same time, it's kind of weird. We do get to see that Hawks lunges in. It's like, I won't let you lead Shigaraki. This is our story. And admittedly, yes, it is in fact called My Hero Academia and not My Villain Academia. Hawks, what are you really planning to do? Like, maybe this is just me lowballing Hawks or something, but say All For One really did actually stand there and attempt to take Hawks' attacks, or really just keep flying away. I think he'd be fine. There's nothing that Hawks can do physically, at least not from my understanding. Like, I know the main thing that Hawks could do was destroy his breathing apparatus, but All For One doesn't need that anymore. He's in his physical prime. This is the same guy who threw hands with Prime All Might and proceeded to damage him so badly he could never be the same again. All For One, do you really need to engage with Hawks here? Like, just keep flying, bro. You are on borrowed time. Quite literally borrowed time. I don't know why Brody is taking his sweet time, I suppose, moving around when he should just be zooming. However, we do get to see that Hawks is like, we're going to do this for the sake of the young ones, for the sake of our future, and we won't hand it over to a monster like you. Hawks is, once again, one of my favorite characters, so W Hawks, W peak ready. However, we do get to see that All For One actually goes out of his way to turn around and engage with Hawks. Once again, I don't know why. I seriously, maybe I'm just, once again, I may just be like downplaying Hawks and gassing up All For One too much, but wow. And we do get to see that in reality, All For One's like, hey, my fault, bro, but the winds of fortune are blowing my way. And he immediately blasts Hawks to oblivion. But unfortunately, I so wish I wasn't spoiled on this. This is a problem with being on the internet. I so wish I wasn't spoiled. Because when I tell you, I would have gone bonkers. Big buku bonkers if Hawks really got one shot like that. Like, I know I'm out here claiming that he should get one shot, so reasonably, I was fine with it. Like, when I first saw the leak, I was like, oh no, well, he got GG'd. You know, it happens to the best of us. It'd be like that when it be like that sometimes. Hey, he went out like a G. Because he got turned into a G, because All For One literally put a G through him. Like, I definitely respected the bold choice that Horikoshi made. It is off Hawks like this, like, W mans, I respect it. You even have this really cool look where the feathers are falling over the panels, and you see Hawks look back at Tokoyami all sad. Tokoyami is blown away by the fact that his master just perished. Like, this could have been a really solid moment. I will give Horikoshi credit. He gives you this whole page. I'm not sure how it would look in a manga reading. Hopefully, like, when you open up the Shonen Jump magazine, this would be like a page you look at so you can sit there and soak in it for a while. But unfortunately, like, the very next page, it gets negated because it turns into Hawks the shoujo character instead of Hawks the shonen character. And I mean, like, yeah, I'm kind of used to it. Once again, if you are any more important than background dressing, you don't die in My Hero Academia. You can literally have you can have characters lean up on your chest and say your heart has stopped, and you still won't go. Like, I still cannot believe that there's any chance that Bakugo is going to survive after literally having his heart exploded. But that's the thing. You can get multiple stab wounds to the chest. You can break every single bone in your body twice, and you'll be fine. It'll be fine. So I don't know why I expected any of this to stick, even remotely, when I saw the leaks, but darn it. We couldn't have even got, like, a little bit of fake. Like, we couldn't hold the moment seriously. Like, you literally could have just cut out the Shoujo Hawks and the funny Tokoyami reaction, even though I've seen it. So many people have made this Tokoyami picture their profile pics, and I don't blame them. It's a very funny picture. But it couldn't have just made it something more, like, somber or real feeling. Nah, but once again, I guess that doesn't fit the character that this comes from, because this is just a glamour illusion. And we see that the real reason that Hawks blew up into a bunch of flowers and a shoujo character is because someone made it just in time. I made it. Just illusion? I made it just illusion time. That was close. That was a close call, for realsies. Let's do that S tier. Can I say that? I'm not even sure if I can say that word. D would have been totes uncool. Now, I'm gonna go get Starbucks later. Who wants to come with me after we save the world? Like, it'll be totes awesome. I got a gift card. I hate Kimmy. I really do. I don't know. I've never been a fan of this character. I know why people are fans of this character, and I bet all of y'all are acting up right now. And I can even admit, like, artistically, it is very impressive, the pose that Horikoshi drew her in. Like, it's not even like a 3/4 shot. Like, he literally has her finger in a very interesting way. Her whole hand is posed interestingly. He has the hand on the brim of her cap. She's posed up on a literal finger. She's literally riding a finger. Ha ha ha. But with that being the case, this is a really cool shot of her, I will admit, but I've never liked the character. And it's mainly because of her dialogue. I think if you change her dialogue to just be like a normal human being and not just a caricature of a human being, I think it'd be fine with her. But I don't know, it's just the dialogue that makes me want to hurl. And maybe it's just because I'm old. I don't know. Young people. I know that. I've seen the analytics. I know most of you are like 18 to 21. Tell me, do y'all actually talk like this? Or is this just Horikoshi being out of touch like I am? Like, let me know. Because I feel like this is so unrealistic. However, we do get to see that the handyman himself, the one with the fleshy fingers, did end up actually saving the real Hawks, blocking him off from his imminent death. And he's like, we were originally tasked with escorting civilians as they evacuated UA via the tunnels, but for some reason they never showed up. Due to the delay, we assumed that something had gone wrong, and we weren't aware that you didn't send the reinforcements, but we're here now. And admittedly, I'm happy that Shiketsu is here. I am a little bit wondering, though, because I thought both schools were made into safety grounds, so why were they just escorting the people from UA? I guess because UA was made into the Flying Fortress, I guess. But then again, that was just like the UA main building. The UA bunker and stuff like that wasn't made into a Flying Fortress, so I'm kind of confused on why they weren't guarding Shiketsu. I guess Shiketsu just didn't matter as much as UA. However, with that, that's kind of the whole narrative purpose of My Hero Academia, right? Shiketsu never matters as much as UA. But with that being the case, it is great that these characters are here. I'm glad that Hori's bringing back a bunch of characters that people were asking for. When you have an extensive world like My Hero Academia, the best thing to do is things like this. Bring back these characters you went out of your way to establish. I really like it a lot. I love Inas's quirk, even though I think he's stupid. He's a dumb character. I didn't like him in the provisional license exam, and I don't think I like him now. But his quirk is cool. I'm happy that he's back. And he, of course, the loudmouth is like, "You dare say the wind is at your back when I'm the one that makes it blow? Because I blow as a character? Ha ha ha." I think it's neat. I like it. W chapter. Like, as much as I complained, as much as I had issues with it, it's still like an 11 out of 10 chapter. There's too much good stuff in it. Even if I don't like some of the dialogue, even if I don't like some of the pacing, even if I don't like certain aspects of the chapter, I cannot sit there, look you dead in the face and be like, "Oh, well, I'm going to take points off because I don't like this for certain thing of dialogue, or I don't like this certain character interaction, or I don't like this character's spicy." I can't do that. There are other chapters where I will readily do that, but this chapter has too many highs of such high quality for me to drop it anywhere below an 11 out of 10. However, that's what I think. Please tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that little notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a page down below. Use result as one, count 'em one, down month. Links to videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks include the live reaction to this very chapter. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Dabi the Pencil, writing off.